Casper Police Chief Keith McPheeters is asking the Wyoming legislature to change domestic violence laws to better protect victims and their families. Today, our Julia Conti spoke with a survivor of domestic violence about how changing these laws could make a positive impact.
Casper Police Chief Keith McPheeters wants to address a loophole in the law when it comes to the crime of assault. He points out, under Wyoming law, a suspect has to make physical contact with the victim for it to be a case of assault. If the victim is threatened but is not touched, it's difficult to charge the suspect.
Currently, as it exists in our law here in Wyoming, me, an abusive husband, could take my spouse and I could back her up against the wall. I could be screaming at her, veins popping out of my head, spittle flying out of my mouth as I'm describing in angry detail the awful things that I'm going to do to her.
The chief goes on to explain that even after officers are called to the scene of these instances, oftentimes very little can actually be done.
And we have to ask the very relevant question of our existing law is, did he hit you? And if the answer is no, we have little recourse.
That's why the chief wants to change the law.
What I'm advocating for is that should include any act, threat, or menacing conduct which causes a person to reasonably believe that they are in danger of receiving an immediate battery.
We spoke with a survivor of domestic violence on how changing these laws may help stop the cycle of violence before it can begin, better protecting victims and their families.
Why are we waiting until their harm is done? Why when I call the police when I'm being screamed at and thrown around my house, but because I don't have marks, they don't want to help me?
This survivor tells us she believes a change in these domestic violence laws could help.
Harsher consequences, preemptive measures taken, and to add that it's not just when you get beat up or killed.
Casper's chief plans to continue fighting for the change in the state assault law until action is taken in Cheyenne. Julia Conti, your Wyoming Link, Casper.